Alright YouTube and Final Fantasy community, so we haven't really got any news for Final Fantasy VII Remake in quite some time. You might have noticed if you're regular to the channel that I have not done a video on this for a while. That's because nothing's really happened. So I thought we'd kind of go through and cover everything we know up to this point. Some of these are things that I've covered individually in videos, so we're going to kind of just do like a wrap up of everything we know about Final Fantasy VII Remake. So we're going to be using an article from digitaltrends.com that's just about a week old, and this is part of how I know that there's really no news I've missed because there's nothing new in this article that I have not seen yet. First up, we know that it's coming to PlayStation 4 first. According to Square Enix's announcement, Final Fantasy VII Remake will come to PlayStation 4 first, but there is no word on compatibility with other systems. Square Enix has brought Final Fantasy games to other platforms, including Xbox in the past, but Sony has not said when its exclusivity deal will end. The simple fact that the original trailer reveal thing shows that it's coming to PlayStation 4 first, they use the word first, tells me that it's probably going to come to, for sure, Xbox One, and probably PC or something. And potentially we've heard rumors that it might come to the Nintendo Switch. I think it's just a temporary exclusivity deal. I don't think it's going to be just for PlayStation 4, unless Sony's paying Square Enix a fuck ton of money. They're going to lose out on not having it on multiple platforms. Next up is the developers. Square Enix began the Final Fantasy VII Remake project with the help of developer CyberConnect 2, which worked on the content that you can now find online. However, in May 2017, Square canceled the contract. The company announced that Naoko Hamaguchi would instead be taking over development of the Remake project, ensuring the project would stay fully in-house. According to streaming interviews, Square Enix appeared to be worried about meeting deadlines and ensuring quality. Hamaguchi specifically stated, in view of factors such as improving quality when the product goes into mass production in the future, the company has decided to shift the developmental system back to within the company so as to maintain a stable schedule and have control over factors such as quality. So essentially, to kind of wrap that up, Square Enix had another company helping them, CyberConnect 2, and in May of this year, 2017, the contract ended, and now the rest of the game is being made by Square Enix specifically, just them. So that's definitely a good thing. Now, it is a positive to have another company helping you, so you can work on other projects, and it's not just them making it. They can have another company helping them with some stuff. But it's always better to have Square Enix themselves doing it because it's their game. Next, we have the fact that the game will be released in multiple parts. In an interesting twist, Yoshinori Kitase wrote a blog that appears to confirm that Final Fantasy VII Remake will be released in different episodic sections. He referenced a multi-part format and said that fans were right when they guessed it would be a multi-part series while still being a single game. Why break it up? According to Kitase, the team did not want to make a condensed version of the game and cut elements of the original version that people loved. Unfortunately, Kitase did not give any more details about the game's new structure. How many parts will Square Enix release? Will the whole game launch at once, or will there be a gap between each release? Expect answers closer to the release date. To respond to something they had right there, they speculated on whether or not it's all going to be released at once. That makes no sense. Why the hell would it be released all at once when it's supposed to be episodic? That just doesn't, why would you come out with all the episodes at once? You might as well just have one full game. So it seems kind of crazy that they would even speculate that. And something I never realized till now, and I used to hate the idea of it being episodic. What if this is kind of alluding to the old days when it used to be multiple discs? Now, obviously, you just finish a disc, you pop another one in, but maybe that's part of why they're doing this as well, is to trying to get that nostalgia where you had to actually wait to play the next disc or whatever, wait to play the next episode. Something I just thought of while recording this video. I haven't heard anybody else speculate on that. Next, we have the changes in gameplay. Square has been very careful to refer to the new Final Fantasy VII as a remake rather than a remaster or reboot. The wording was chosen carefully to let fans know that changes will be coming. Maps, materia, battle screens, conversations, items, and more may be altered. Really quick though, it wouldn't be called remaster because that's just kind of a graphical thing, and a reboot would be starting from fresh, and it'd be an entirely new story, and everything would be new. So it's called remake because it's literally a remake. So far, we've only seen the briefest glimpses of content from the game. At this point, they're just glorified concept art and cutscenes. Many of the images show the opening of the game where Cloud is running through the murky streets of Midgar on his first Avalanche mission. From the brief trailer and still images, we can put together several clues on how the gameplay is shaping up. New cutscenes aside, Midgar looks very similar, with most scenes plucked more or less directly from the original game and showcasing very similar monsters. The characters, on the other hand, have had some notable changes. Barrett, do you really need sunglasses underground? Edgy. I have to disagree with that, though. You're talking this 20-year-old game, Midgar looks drastically different from the original game. Battle does appear to be largely action-based. It looks partially automated and partially controlled via a familiar menu that includes options for summon, magic, and more. Combine that with real-time battle screens and, well, we're not sure what's going on, although it is reminiscent of Final Fantasy XV's gameplay. Remember, this may just be an early mock-up of what combat could look like. The graphics are incredible. If what we've seen is what gamers will get, the game's visuals are extraordinary, but it's still a little too early to be sure at this point. We don't know if the remake will be open world. It would be incredibly disappointing if it wasn't, but the changes Square is making may force the game into a more linear path. We're keeping our eyes open for a world map or some other encouraging sign. And that is something I absolutely have to agree with. When you're remaking an older Final Fantasy, 7, 8, or 9, those games were the old school Final Fantasies where you could travel the entire fucking world. It just has to be open world. Next up, we have the changes in story. Square isn't talking much about the story, but it is widely expected some elements will be tweaked so that they make more sense to a modern audience. Tetsuya Nomura has clarified that there will be more plot devices and that the remake will take a different approach and make something that suits the time. This is also a chance to make the game fall more in line with the other Final Fantasy VII content that Square has produced since then, including Dirge of Cerberus, Advent Children, and so on. It's worth noting that one of the promo images distinctly shows Sephiroth's fallen angel wings, a detail that wasn't included in the original game, but made popular by new cinematic content years later. Square seems intent on incorporating such new content into the remake. Now, we've actually talked about this promotional art before. For the 20-year anniversary, this is what they got for us, was this picture, and that was it. And I bitched about that because it seemed kind of ridiculous that for the 20-year anniversary of one of the biggest games ever, one of the most popular games ever, all they had was some art. But it never clicked to me how important his wing was in this picture, because they're right, that was not in the original game. This was something that was introduced later in some other shit. It was not, he didn't have the wing in the original game, which is kind of interesting. Now, his theme song, his music from Final Fantasy VII, is actually called One Winged Angel, so he has been kind of known as that or whatever since the beginning, since Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation 1, but all the same, he's never actually had that wing, so maybe the promotional art was to let us know that there will be content from these other branch-off stories, games, and movies and shit incorporated into this remake. And last up is the release date. The most concrete info we have on this is an interview with Square Enix CEO Yasuka Matsuda, I don't know how to say it, where he talked to shareholders stating that the Final Fantasy VII Remake would be released within 3 years, along with Kingdom Hearts 3 and other Square projects like an upcoming Avengers game. So sometime between now and 2020 is currently the best guess for at least the first piece in the series. Now, we did get this chart from like a shareholder meeting or something like that from Square earlier this year that shows kind of the time frame in which their games were going to release. Now, if you look to the far right, we have Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and the Marvel IP, which I'm guessing is the Avenger games, in the fiscal year 2018 and beyond. So it has the potential, Final Fantasy VII Remake, to be, at least the first part, be released in 2018, but there's the and beyond, so it could be any fucking time from 2018 and beyond. So we don't exactly know, but we have the potential of a 2018 release. And sadly, that's everything we know about Final Fantasy VII Remake up to this point. It's kind of crazy considering the game was announced over 2 years ago, which means, at minimum, they've been working on this game for 2+ years. If not, 3 years, 4 years, whatever the case. They've been working on this game for quite some time, and we really don't know a whole lot, other than it's going to be a remake of the game. It's going to have most of the elements of the original game, built from the ground up, obviously, and have some additional content that the original game did not have, like story pieces and things like that. Maybe even characters, who knows. And I understand that they don't want to spoil things for us, but the thing is, you are remaking a game. Even a casual Final Fantasy VII player probably knows the story by heart of what Final Fantasy VII is. So you're not really spoiling anything. We know it's going to fucking happen with Final Fantasy VII. So it's just kind of weird they don't show us stuff. Like, why can't you show us, what Nibelheim looks like in modern day graphics? Or, the Golden Saucer, dude. The Golden Saucer is going to be ridiculous in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Cannot wait to see that. Or, show us, what Sephiroth looks like in a boss fight. Or, the giant monsters, the giant weapon monsters you fight near the end of the game. Shit like that would look fucking awesome in these modern day graphics. And they haven't showed us that. My only really guess is why they haven't showed us these things is because they don't have them made. They have nothing to show us. That's why they haven't showed us anything. Although we do know that Tetsuya Nomura did have a trailer for us earlier this year, like a Tokyo game show or some kind of gaming event earlier this year, and then right before he's about to go out there and show this trailer, Square Enix or somebody told him not to. So there is a trailer just kind of waiting. We thought we'd see it at E3 2017, and that did not happen. So we know there is a trailer somewhere. Nomura has it. We just have not seen it yet. Anyways, guys, that's everything we know about Final Fantasy VII Remake up to this current point. As always, if something else comes out or anything that's worth talking about happens, I will definitely be making a video about it. Anyways, guys, if you want to enjoy the video, if you're excited for Final Fantasy VII Remake, give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Turn on my notifications. Follow me on Twitter. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake, 'cause I don't fucking care.